Hello everyone, I'm C from CBU Studio Diaries. Today, let's play again. Let's do some experiment. For you who have not watched my video, I have made an experiment with the Kyungbo. This is the necklace that I'm wearing, which is fusing gold into a silver. It's super fun and I consider it to be successful. So I'm kind of addicted with playing. This time I'm going to play again. I have a lot of silver scrapes that I've been keeping forever. I've never sell it, so I have a lot of them. These earrings that I'm wearing right now is also the product of the recycling. I really like the style. I want to do it again, just about the same style, but I want to make it bigger or more of the shape. And since the success rate is 50-50 of doing any experiment, I feel like I don't want to be stressed too much on the result. I'm just going to be surprised by the process and let's see how it goes. Are you ready? Let's go.
To summarize, I'll start by selecting wires usually between 18 to 16 gauge or possibly some untouched 20 gauge. I'll anneal them to soften, reshape, and solder them together. And finally, I will oxidize the piece, hoping that the final result turns out beautifully. Now that I've shared my plan, I can speak more freely. These are the wires I found, which I will anneal and reshape. I will not heat them into a liquid silver, but to heat this up enough so that it'll be easier to manipulate. The reason why I do this is since they had been through a lot of process, for example, hammered, bent, fork, these silver scrapes have been work hardened, so they are more brittle and difficult to manipulate. If you keep working hardened silver without annealing, it can crack or snap, especially in tight bands or thin sections. Annealing restores its flexibility, making it easier to work it again.
Now that it's been annealed, this wire has been so soft and very easy to be bent. So my goal is to make everything straight and I will shape them into different size. So these are the twisted wire that I'm twisted using my hands because they are very light and they're not really long. I don't want it to be a uniformly twisted. I want it to be like it has like a handmade look. However, I did quite nice uniform twisted wire and I made a video about it, and actually I twist the wire and I make a hoop earrings from it. If you are interested, you can always watch it after watching this video. I will put the link on the description below and on the screen. Wow, I did not realize that I've been working so hard and it's already 6 p.m. It's Friday night and me and my husband, we are thinking about watching a movie tonight. So I would like to prepare the dinner earlier. In the meantime, I guess I'll continue working tomorrow morning. I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, we decided to go to Chinatown and try out this pancake house. The name of the cafe is Fua Fua. It served these giant pancakes. The cafe is very small and there's always a lot of people waiting in line. And from the outside, you can see the people making the pancake one by one. Impressive. While waiting for our order, I took a peek of what other people ordered. That looks good. I ordered matcha pancake while hubby had mango pancake. He also ordered black sesame cold drinks and me espresso. We had a great time strolling through Chinatown after this and ended the day watching Britain's Got Talent with our little one. The weekend was all about soaking up the sun, so I did not get back to work on until this Monday. Back to the bench. At this point, I'm not sure which shapes I'm going to use. However, just in case, I'm going to solder them close one by one. If you watch my previous video, you know that I like to put a Sharpie on the gap. That way, it would be easier for me to identify where to solder. This time, to make it easier, I'm laying down all of them on the soldering board. I flux them one by one. I also put the solder chip directly above or underneath it and just fire one shape after another. Last week's video, I showed you up close how I did it. Maybe if you are curious, you can check the video out to see a different angle on how it is done. I'm going to put the link somewhere here on the screen. These little solder chips are handful. It's not easy getting them right above the gap, and I'll be honest, having good hand control makes a big difference. Let's take it slow and fire them one at a time. After the soldered pieces are cooled off, I'm refining the shapes, especially for the circles, with mandrel and hammer. And yes, they are hammered one by one for the circles, while for the other shapes, I would just leave it as is. I'm using the smallest mandrel I have. The diameter is from 3 to 10 millimeters. As I hammer, I also push the circle down to make it form into a perfect circle. Alright, I think I like the shape so far. And like I said in the introduction, the idea is to solder them together into something new. But what shape exactly? No idea. I've been staring at them for a while, tried to figure it out. This is supposed to be fun, right? Anyway, here are some of the doodles of the possibilities. Let me know which one is it that you like. I kind of prefer the last layout. There's something about the shapes stacking rather than clustering that feels better. It gives a bit of a totem tribal vibe. So here we are. I've more or less settled on the final design, a combination of different shapes, and it's time to solder them side by side. Okay, technically I am using hard solder, which makes things a little bit tricky since the wire gauge are not the same. The 20 gauge wire melts faster than the 16 gauge, obviously, and especially when they are next to each other, I really have to be careful. In order to deal with that, this is my trick. I'm soldering one joint at a time and slowly working my way across. Quick question, diary keepers. Do you like the shape formation that I choose? If you do or you don't, please let me know in the comment below, and I would love to know which one of the formation that you like the best. Okay, while we're talking, the first plate is done. Mm, Let me take it off from the soldering board. It's stick a little bit here. I need to clean it up for sure. I just put it in a pickle jar for a little bit, not too long. I kind of like the formation. What do you think about my choice? They are not super duper beautiful, I have to admit, but we'll see after sanding. Technically, the plates are made well, and now we are going through the hard part, which is to smoothen the surface. I'm using all kinds of sanding tools. Personally, I prefer to just sand it using a sandpaper, but these surfaces are immense. It would take forever to smoothen it out. Dairy keepers, if you have any tips, if you have a go-to sanding bit, I'd love to know. There's so much out there, sometimes I'm lost. After sanding it out, I'm also hammering it, not to give a texture, but more or less to flatten them out. Remember at the beginning I said that the wires does not have the same thickness, so hammering it would help to equalize the thickness. While this one came out gorgeous, the other half pair did not. So back to square one, I'm cutting off the failed solder and cutting off the excess, and I have to redo the plate. Since I cannot match the earrings totally, I am choosing to do it on a mismatch style. I find it to be a good solution. Meanwhile, I'm also keeping the same length, which is 3.5 centimeter, I think, around there. Crossing fingers. I don't know if I like this pair, but I came out this far, so I would love to finish this work. Same approach on the first half. I hammer the plates flat to give it a uniform thickness. I also drilled the middle between the two circles and the triangle. That way the wire sculptures can look a little bit more refined. It did change something. I like it more now. I also skip over a lot of sanding part. They are boring and repetitive. And here is the somewhat final result. I said somewhat because they are half as good as the beginning when they came out of the pickle jar.
The wire that is being used, since they're recycled, they're not at the same gauge. This, for example, here, it has a very thick wire, while the other two does not have the same thickness. So when I sand it down, it would look unbalanced. I don't know how far I'm gonna take this. Should I sand more? It's gonna be paper sand by the end. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on smoothing this out with the power tool because they do not look good at all.
Let's just add the stud. I'm using two pieces of 20 gauge wire. Each is 4 centimeter at length. I am sanding flat only one side of the wire, and to make it easier, I'm marking it with the Sharpie, the side that is sanded, so I will know that it's the side that will be soldered. My plan is to solder them in to create a threader style backing. This way, instead of a stiff post, the earrings can move freely and it will give them a more fluid, elegant movement.
I don't know what to do. The solder was not successful. I'm so annoyed. Everything that I do today, it's not correct. I was in the middle of taking off the solder and it came off by itself. It's not on the right side. Now it's already 4:30 and I have to pick up my daughter. We're going to have to stay outside. That means that I cannot continue until tomorrow. I cannot wait to finish this.
Once again, diary keepers, I skip over the boring part. I fix the mistake, and here goes the perfectly installed ear threader. I'm taking half centimeter for the earlobe and just fold the rest of the wire downwards. Hammer to harden and also smoothing out the ends for comfort wear. That's it. I'm going through the last sanding with 1500 grit sandpaper. The smoothest is either 2000 or 3000, depends on the brand. Here I just stop at 1500 and not polish at all, so it will look rather icy, satin finished, and not mirror finished. I know that at the beginning of the video, I said that I want to oxidize the piece, but since they are uneven, with the oxidized effect, it would look even messier. I cannot say that I love the end result 100%. This is as good as it gets. I'm contemplating if I should post it on my Etsy shop. What do you think? And what is your take on this project? A success or fail?
Diary keepers, this is by far the longest video I've ever made. Over 1 week's worth of footage, and finally we have reached in the end. While disappointed is a strong word, but I'm not far from it. The result that I have been waiting is not as beautiful as I thought it would be. Well, this is what it is. Quick question before I go. Have you ever been in my shoes where at the beginning you are excited of a project and over time you are kind of feel cold about it, and thus the result is really not as beautiful as you imagine? I would love to hear your story, and it will mean a lot to me to know that I'm not alone in this. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Stay creative. And this time I decided to be kind to myself, and hopefully you are too. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.